Horror movies, some people love them, others refuse to watch them. But no matter where you stand, you can't deny their impact. The chills, the suspense, the nightmares, some films stay with you forever. From supernatural hauntings to terrifying killers. Today, we're counting down the top 10 horror movies of all time. This list is based on scares, cultural impact, and how much they still haunt audiences today. Make sure to watch till the end, because our number one pick was so terrifying that theaters had to hand out barf bags to viewers. Kicking off our list at number 10 is The Conjuring. If you're a fan of haunted house movies, this one is a must-watch. Directed by horror master James Wan. This movie is based on the real-life paranormal cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren. It follows the Perron family, who move into a farmhouse in Rhode Island, only to experience horrifying supernatural activity. And here's the crazy part. Many of the cast and crew experienced unexplained paranormal events on set. Vera Farmiga, who played Lorraine Warren, refused to take her script home after she found claw marks on her laptop screen out of nowhere. The real Perron family even claimed that after the movie came out, the spirits in their old home got angrier. At number 9, we have the film that made people scared to sleep, A Nightmare on Elm Street. If you've ever had a nightmare that felt too real, this movie will make sure you never sleep again. The story follows Freddy Krueger, a burnt-faced killer with knives for fingers who hunts you in your dreams. And if he kills you in your dream, you die in real life. What's even scarier, Freddy was inspired by a real medical mystery. There were actual cases of people dying in their sleep for an unknown reason. Something called sudden unexplained nocturnal death syndrome. That's why the movie feels so terrifyingly real. At number 8, we have a modern horror masterpiece, Hereditary. If you love psychological horror, this movie is a nightmare you can't wake up from. Unlike traditional horror movies, Hereditary doesn't rely on jump scares. Instead, it builds a terrifying, unsettling atmosphere that leaves you emotionally destroyed. Toni Collette's performance in this movie is legendary. And that scene, the one with the telephone pole, yeah, if you've seen it, you know why this movie haunts people. At number 7, we have a horror movie so intense that it was banned in multiple countries. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This movie introduced us to Leatherface, one of the most terrifying killers in horror history. And here's a horrifying fact. This movie was inspired by the real-life crimes of Ed Gein, a murderer who actually made furniture out of human skin. The original film was so disturbing that many people left the theater in shock, and some even vomited from the intensity. At number 6, we have Pennywise the Clown from it. If you hate clowns, this movie probably made it worse. The 2017 adaptation of Stephen King's novel, it became one of the highest-grossing horror movies of all time. The reason? Pennywise. Bill Skarsgård was so terrifying in the role that some of the child actors were genuinely scared of him on set. At number 5, we have the original slasher film, Halloween. This movie introduced us to Michael Myers, the silent, unstoppable killer with a creepy white mask. Here's a fun fact. The famous Michael Myers mask was actually a cheap Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek, spray-painted white. At number 4, it's The Ring, a cursed videotape that kills you if you watch it. Yeah, this movie traumatized an entire generation. The scene where Samara crawls out of the TV is one of the scariest moments in horror history. At number 3, we have the most controversial horror film of all time, The Exorcist. When this movie was released, people fainted in theaters. Even scarier, many of the cast and crew reported strange deaths and accidents after filming. Some believe the movie itself is cursed. At number 2, we have Psycho. This Alfred Hitchcock masterpiece changed horror forever. That shower scene? It made people terrified of taking showers for years. And did you know? This was one of the first films to show a toilet flushing on screen. Something that was considered shocking back then. And finally at hashtag 1, The Shining. This isn't just a horror movie. It's an experience that leaves you haunted long after the credits roll. From its eerie cinematography to its slow-burning psychological terror, this is horror at its finest. Directed by the legendary Stanley Kubrick and based on Stephen King's novel, The Shining is about Jack Torrance, a struggling writer who takes a job as a winter caretaker at the remote Overlook Hotel. He brings his wife and young son Danny along. But things quickly spiral into madness as supernatural forces and Jack's own inner demons take over. And did you know? Stephen King, the original author, actually hated this adaptation. He felt Kubrick changed too much from the book, especially Jack Nicholson's portrayal of Jack Torrance. In King's version, Jack is a tragic character slowly descending into madness. But in the movie, Nicholson's wild-eyed performance makes it feel like he's already on the edge from the start. Which movie scared you the most? Comment below. And don't forget, hit like and subscribe for more spine-chilling movie breakdowns.